Travel Thursday. This, remember, is where we take you virtually to various places across the globe so that you can decide which ones to put on your bucket list. Joining me now is Anindita Chatterjee, who's the founder of Travel Chatter. Thanks, as always, Anindita, and good evening to you. We're going to talk about Cinque Terre. And if I say that a few times, I will probably say it like an Italian. But why are we talking about Cinque Terre and what's so special about it?
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to be here. We are talking about Cinque Terre today because it's one of the most beautiful places in Italy. I just got back from Italy last week and I still have the memories fresh in my head. So, Cinque Terre is basically a group of five fishing villages along the coast of Italy. And it's absolutely stunning. It's very offbeat because most Indians, when we think of Italy, we think of Rome, Venice, Florence, Amalfi Coast, but not many of us go to Cinque Terre. And I totally recommend all of you to go there because it's very, very unique. The food is to die for. The views of the Mediterranean Sea is absolutely amazing. So yeah, definitely add Cinque Terre on your list next.
Cinque Terre, I believe, is on the coast of Italy. Off the coast of Italy, one would think,
Right.
since, like you said, it's a group of islands. Um, you would
No,
go
no,
to,
so it's not a group of
no?
islands. It's on the Italian coast. So it's
Oh,
very much on the Italian coast, and it's a 3 hour train journey from Milan. So coming on to probably what would be our next question is how to get
yeah,
there.
exactly.
So that would be flying straight to Milan, and of course, Milan is the biggest airport in Italy, and it is definitely the most economical to fly into Milan. An air ticket from Mumbai to Milan, a round trip would cost anywhere between again 70 to 75,000, given its peak season. And from Milan, you can take a train to one of the villages. So these trains go stop at all the five villages of Cinque Terre, and it's a 3 hour train journey. The train journey, the ticket would cost you around 20 to 25 euros, depending on which class of ticket you buy on the train.
Fantastic. Um, how much time would you recommend you spend? And because you're also talking about the Dolomites,
Right.
Cinque Terre and the Dolomites. So, how
Yes.
much time would you recommend you spend there? And do you think that you should plan this as part of a larger vacation, or do you go to Italy only to go to Cinque Terre?
No, you don't go to Italy only to go to Cinque Terre because you can easily do Cinque Terre in 3 to 4 days. And which is why on my this trip to Italy, which is my second time to Italy, I did Cinque Terre, Dolomites, as well as this island called Sardinia. But just Cinque Terre and Dolomites itself would be at least a week, if not more. So I would say 5 days in Dolomites and 3 days in Cinque Terre. And the best way to see both the places is by car. So either you take a train and go to Cinque Terre, or you rent a car and drive to Cinque Terre. I would recommend taking the train because it's far more economical and you can walk to the villages. The villages aren't very far away. There's a very beautiful hike that goes to the villages, or there's a train journey which costs 4 euros per person to go from one village to the other village.
Okay, so 7 days. You've already talked about the flight costs and you talked about how much the trains cost. And you've said that that's more economical.
Right.
Staying there, how costly is it? And you said that the food is to die for, but give us a bit of a sense of what you would get there.
Sure. So when you're in Italy, of course, everything is expensive. Italy is expensive. Unless you want to stay in hostels or in Airbnbs, which is out of the city center, which is out of the city basically. So when we were in Cinque Terre, we stayed in this place called La Spezia, which is a port, and that's not a part of those five villages. And hence we got an amazing Airbnb for $90. So that would be pretty much the average cost. But if you're staying in one of those five villages, it could range anything between 100 to $120. And but if you have a car or if you're taking the train, it's far better to stay out of the city center just to bring down the overall cost. When you're in the Dolomites, of course, stay is a lot more expensive. There, whether you take a hotel or you take an Airbnb, it all ranges between 100 to 125 euros. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we know, or maybe those people who've been tuned into the other shows on ET Now will know, the dollar and the euro have in fact hit parity. So that's more or less how much you would pay.
Yes.
But okay, let's talk about then what you would do at the Dolomites and at Cinque Terre. You've said Cinque Terre is a group of five fishing villages.
Right.
and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm already imagining various things about this place. But what are the various activities that you would go and do there?
Okay, so out of the 5 fishing villages, my personal favorite is Rio Maggiore, and I would recommend everybody stay there because that is the first village when you are taking the train from La Spezia, given you're staying at La Spezia. Rio Maggiore has one of the best sunsets you have ever seen. It's absolutely stunning. Great restaurants. All the 5 villages have at least 1 or 2 Michelin star restaurants. And again, they're not very expensive. So we ate at one of the Michelin star restaurants in one of the fishing villages, and the bill was around 2,000 to 2,500 rupees. And this is 2 main course, without alcohol, of course. And other than that, just walk through the villages, go snorkeling, diving, and the old town is so pretty. So you can spend the entire day just walking through these villages. Dolomites, of course, is a lot to do. So when you're in the Dolomites, you would want to base yourself in this city called Ortisei, in a town called Ortisei, or Cortino di Ampezzo. These are the 2 towns where you base yourself, and then you do day trips to various lakes, waterfalls, mountain hikes, etc. Again, one of my favorites in Dolomites is taking the cable car from Ortisei and going to this place called Sicida Ridgeline. When you go up there, it is like heaven on earth. You have the entire Dolomites all around you, and you can take any of the hiking routes and spend the entire day and take the last cable car and come back. Again, a great thing to do. And there are also a lot of lakes around the Dolomites, but 2 of my favorites are Lago di Carezza and Lago di Brace. These 2 are, again, absolutely stunning. And the best way to roam around in Dolomites is to rent a car. Renting a car per day would cost around 80 to 90 euros a day. Again, if you book well in advance, you could also get something within 50 euros. But yeah, for that, I guess you have to book like 3-4 months in advance. And given this is peak season, June, July, August places are full of tourists. So of course, the Dolomites, you will find places which are going to be empty. You'll get the perfect shots, and it's beautiful. But if you rent a car, you're much more flexible. You can then decide yourself where to go, where to stay, etc.
You do need an international driver's license, so bear that in mind before you head out. But Anindita, thank you so much for taking the time, and always a pleasure. Those pictures and images that you saw, or rather videos that you sent us, really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for painting that picture for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alex.